spanned more than 6 decades. It began in newspapers before becoming the king of radio at 3AW, then taking on television with nightly and midday current affairs programs and plenty of sackings in between. Hinch also had a brief stint as an independent senator and never shied away from controversy and campaigning for victims' rights. He ended up in prison multiple times for breaching court orders by naming and shaming sex offenders. His personal life was just as interesting. He was married 5 times, including to actress Jackie Weaver. Hinch had long battled health issues, finally succumbing to them at home this morning in his bed, just the way he'd said he wanted to go. Darren James is a former radio colleague and friend of Derryn's and joins us live now. Darren, thank you for your time on this difficult day. How will you remember Derryn?
Well, there's a lot to remember. He packed a lot into his 82 years, that's for sure. I was 19 when I first met him, and I ended up walking along the Great Wall of China with him. We've been to the top of the Empire State together. We've climbed Ayers Rock together, or Uluru as it's known now, and he was a very interesting man, a lovable man, and a very generous man, and I'll miss him.
And you played Wordle with Derryn every day. Is that how you realised something was wrong this morning?
I did. He wrote the book on Scrabble. He was a wordsmith. He loved words, and he was very good at words. He wrote books. And every morning, not after 9 o'clock, my phone would ding and he'd put GM, which stood for good morning, and it was either 3, 4, 5 or bust, very rarely. And yesterday he got a 3, the day before he got a 3. And this morning there was no message on his phone. I thought, I wonder what's wrong, and a very sad day. Very
sad indeed. And you started off, as you said, as his panel operator. What did you admire most about him as a broadcaster?
Well, he ripped this town apart. He took on Bert Newton, and Bert was the king of Melbourne radio when I was with Derryn, when I started as his sound man, and we travelled the world together, and he said, I'm not going to let any guy like Bert sort of show me the way. I'm going to do it my way. He had no experience in radio, and he took it by the throat and became the #1, clear #1 when I was working with him. And we ended up interviewing Princess Anne in the Sudan. We nearly got shot there. We sat with Teddy Kennedy in Washington and interviewed him, and travelled to New York, and he took me under his wing, and he eventually got me on air as well. He recommended that I'd be perhaps a guy to be on air at 3AW, which I'm still doing to this day. And if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have had the career that I've had. I'm sure of that. And he just, we always got on. And it's one thing about him, everyone that worked under him loved him. I didn't meet anyone that worked when he was the boss that didn't like him. And he was generous. I mean, what else do you say? He's just a beautiful man.
And on that, Hinch was often referred to as the mouth that roared. So was he the same behind the scenes, or you're saying he had a soft side?
He had a soft side. He was like putty in your hands after the first couple of bottles at a long lunch, which, you know, he loved it. I loved it too, for sure. He was generous. He loved being in love. He loved people. He always gave people the time of day when they came up and said hello. I was with him when he was taken off to jail. That stand was quite incredible. He put his body where his mouth was and was taken off to jail for the cause that he was standing up for, and that's what he was like. He was. He just got the living daylights strung the living daylights out of every second of every day, and loved life.
And he absolutely had fighting qualities, particularly when it came to his health battles too. What do you think spurred him on?
He used to have this thing, when he was taken to jail, he told me that when he was in his cell or when he was on the operating theatre bed, he would transport his body, this is true, above him and look down on himself, and he'd say, oh, look, there's Derryn Hinch. He's in a bit of trouble at the moment. He's going to be fine. And that was one of his mechanisms for getting through things. He was a different kind of cat. And the bed he died in, when he got it, he asked us round. We'd had a couple, I've got to admit. It was a bed imported from Japan. It was thousands of dollars. It vibrated. It went up. It went back. He said, we spend a third of our life in bed. Come and lie down with me. So I know where he spent his last moments, because I've been there right next to him, and he'll always be right next to me, that's for sure.
That is incredible. And you and your wife, Kathy, you were massive supporters of Derryn through many highs and many lows. Does it feel like you've lost a member of your family?
Oh yeah, he was at our wedding. I was working on air with Bruce Mansfield when our first child was born, and we visited him then, and he's been a great part of our lives. A huge part of our lives, and he was at my son's wedding, and my daughter got into media because of Hinchy, and they idolised him as well. You know, he's not only a professional to work with, but a great family friend, and we're all struggling a bit, I've got to say, when the news came through. You know, 82. I knew he'd had his health problems, of course, but last time we saw him, he was up and about, so it happened pretty quickly, and just trying to analyse it all at the minute as a family, for sure.
A difficult day. Darren, thank you for your time this afternoon.
Love your work, Eliza. I've been watching you for years as well.
Thank you, appreciate that. And we will be joined a little later by Neil Mitchell with more on the life of Derryn Hinch. To the day's other